Always dealing with some technical issue. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You know how we do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite podcast. Whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah. Riffin with Griffin. Whoa, whoa. Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin, everybody. As usual, thanks for being a part of the podcast. This week, what else could we possibly be talking about today other than the election? So sit tight, get yourself ready, because, we're going to do what we do when we do it. You know what I mean? All my thoughts, all my reactions, but welcome back to Riffin with Griffin. All right, y'all. Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin. Thanks for being here live on Wednesdays. I don't know what's going on. You know what? I have the wrong color shirt on. It's messing with my green screen, but whatever. Thanks for being here as always. Make sure you subscribe so you know, you got to know when I'm on. You're going to get the little notification. So make sure you hit it. I'm on Twitch, man. Twitch a lot. Twitch. And if you're on Twitch, you also get to see my Monday nuance. If you're a subscriber, if you're not a subscriber, you only get to watch for like 5 minutes and then it turns off. But then if you're a subscriber, you get the whole thing, or just go right to Patreon and watch Monday nuance on Patreon. This past Monday, I did a little downstairs house. Showed a little bit of the house as I was setting up for the Lee Brothers episode. That's the big news. Big news of the week. Yeah, we did it, y'all. We did it. We secured the Lee Brothers. They came, and yes, we did it. So I shout out to Bobby and Steve for episode 300. They came over. I got a funny doorbell video of Bobby just furious of how far he had to drive to come, but he did. As crazy as Bobby is, as all the nonsense that he might talk, which he's going to talk a lot of nonsense. He had his own video person here. So they're going to be showing behind the scenes of that, of him just, of course, talking smack, how far it is. He has to be negative. But through all that facade for the internet, Bobby is my friend and he shows up when I ask him to. So that's pretty cool about that. Oh man, see, I got the wrong shirt on, guys, for today's episode. So that's going to be like should I just go shirtless? You know what I mean? Yeah. Cause I got this sort of I realize this is messing with the green screen. So it's going to be that. I hope it doesn't bother you too much, but it's going to be a weird effect all episode. So it is what it is. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Before I get into the only thing that we should be getting into today, let me just, again, what's going on with me? Oh my God, guys. Did I tell you guys already? I don't know if I told, wait, did that last week? No, that just happened this past weekend. Man, I got so sick. I was in Orlando and I was so sick. We ate something before I left for a red eye to the airport. So I got on I drove to the airport late for a red eye. I ate something with Rachel. I got on the plane. And then I'm on the plane texting with her, and she's telling me that she has food poisoning, and it's a mess because she has the baby's crying. She has to keep getting up and going to the bathroom. She's throwing up, and then she had to call her mother to come over. And then I'm on the plane I don't know if I ate anything. I think I'm good. You know what I mean? It's a 5-hour flight, whatever it was. It was a direct flight to Orlando. I get in there, I get out the car. I'm like, oh, I'm a little farty, but, nothing more than usual at Griffin farting, right? Get to the hotel. Guys, mess. My body just locked up for me. And then when I got to the hotel, absolute disaster zone. Okay. They have to just get rid of that room. They just need to just burn that room and then start over in that, redo that room. But I was really bad. And then I had to go to a show. I had a show that day because I got there on Friday. I had a show that day. I was in bed all day. I was up and down. it was crazy. And then I had to, do a show, and it was like 6:00. I'm sitting on my bed and I'm like, I can't do it. I don't think I could do this, but I didn't want to cancel the show. I'm just not in me. So I rallied, got my stuff together, had an Uber to the club, and I'm in the Uber with a plastic bag. We like, please don't. I get to the club. They're understanding because they didn't want me to cancel the show either. It was actually a pretty good show. It was like a nice group, a nice crowd. So I'm like, I said, you know what? I powered through. Two very funny openers. What's his name? Chris and Miguel out of Orlando. Good dudes. And then I said, okay, so I gave them extra time. I said, you do 20, you do 25, and I'll do minimum 45, right? I'm in the green room just dying. And I go, well, and I hear my name and I'm like, I gotta do it. It's time to do it. So, I rally, I get my shit together, and, I do both shows. I mean, in the middle of the show, I even got sick. Not in the middle of the show. So I'm talking about in between the two, first show and second show. I thought, can I eat something? I hadn't eaten all day. So I had like a banana, and I got some Pepto. I asked them for Pepto-Bismol. I had some tea. So I got a banana just to have something in the middle of the show, man. Just, and I'm like, oh no. And then the second show was a lot harder, but I powered through. And I think I put on a good show. So if you were out in Orlando, and I did tell the crowd, I was like, I didn't want to make an excuse, but at the same time, I wanted them to know, just in case I just threw up, I wanted the people to know, like, don't worry, if I run off stage, I'm coming back. I didn't know what to say or do. I was just like, look, let's just deal with it like that. I'm sick, and we're going to power through, guys. And we did. And the next night I was fine. The next night it was like, we were back with it. So, it is what it is. And there was that. Wolf's doing good, in case anybody's interested. He's getting bigger, man, and his poops are stinky. So he's getting like that now. You know what I mean? He's eating more solid foods. So, dad life's been pretty good. And so, I appreciate that. And as I say again, look out for episode 300. We secured the Lee brothers, baby. Steve and Bobby came through, which is great. You know what I mean? So, why is my screen flickering, man? I don't understand that, I don't even know how to fix that. Like, what is that? I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, so let me see. Let me see what pictures I have. If I have a picture, yeah, I do. Here we go. I do have a picture. So the boys came through. So that's look out for next week. You could just see the fear on Wolf's face. I think I even have a funny video. Wait, where's that video I have? Yeah, so there's like a video of when they first met him. So this is a funny little moment. So I sit down with Wolf. Okay, here's a little video. I sit down with Wolf. So this is Wolf meeting the Lee brothers for the first time. Okay.
So cute.
Oh wow! Hi.
Oh my God, he's so
Ready?
cute.
One.
How you doing?
Stevie. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Cool. Perfect.
Oh no, they're Asian. It's okay. Oh no.
So that was. So that was a fun little experience with the Lee brothers. So anyways, we did it. It was fun times. Let's just be consistent. We'll get into comments, and then we'll just get into the episode. It's only one thing I'm really talking about today. All right. So anyways, today, of course, first comment, just user with no name, just user. It says, what does this person say? Oh, I love Matt Rife. Okay. Yeah. It's funny. I haven't had Matt on the podcast since all the big fame. But it's just because like I'm with him, I work with him sometimes. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. I have to ask him. And you know what? I've been putting, I'm getting resumes. People are asking me about this, but somebody said, "Hey, Eric, if you ever need a personal assistant, I'm your guy." My close friends say that I'm persistent and diligent, like Will Smith from The Pursuit of Happiness. Okay, thanks. Somebody said the Strudel Bob said, "If you go on Bad Friends again, I think it would be a big boost for your channel. It's been a while since you've been on there. You were hilarious the times you were on. I think it's overdue." Yeah, well, whatever. You know what I mean? That's not my choice. Oh, so somebody had some comments on that. Okay, whatever. Let's see. Okay, so Knockstar Games, one of my regulars on says 1228. Tony is a great writer. I believe 100% this is the reaction he was expecting. They wanted eyes and ears in their direction, and they got it. And Tony for sure kept it mild, in my opinion. Yeah, he's just speaking on Tony Hinchcliffe at the Madison Square Garden thing, which turns out didn't have an effect at all. I don't know how it affected the Puerto Rican vote. I think most people were like, "Oh, the guy's just an insult comic. He's joking. He's a roaster." Time and place situation, whether you think it should be there or not. But like, I don't think it was like it should have been the deal that it was, in my opinion. But I also understand if people were like, "This is ridiculous." I get that too. Okay. Let's see. Cedric 2078 said, "Isn't Brisk owned by Coca-Cola?" Huh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know why you commented that. Let's see. He said commercial. So Jason Aldaz 1482 said commercial money was funding the backyard. You damn right it was. So now it's like, what am I going to do now? Thank God the stock market is soaring today. All right, so somebody said, what is this? Your boy something, stupid name. Relieved and loved hearing your level-headed take on what happened from a comedian's perspective. Admittedly, I thought Tony's comments was disgusting, but you definitely cleared that up. He just needs to bear in mind the magnitude of the audience watching. Much love. Yeah, all right. So that's an interesting comment. Anyways, whatever. We're done with comments. Let's just get to the episode today. So, what up, guys? So, it is what it is. Here we are. Here we are again with Trump presidency. Trump wins. And what does it mean? What's the aftermath? What are my thoughts? That's what this is all about. These are just my thoughts. Okay. So first of all, let's just say this. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of and you can see it on the internet already. There's just a lot of people with the virtue signaling has started heavy on the left side. It's like, oh, misogyny wins. Oh, racism wins. And because that's the narrative that the commoners want to push, they just want to push that if whoever supported Trump's a racist and all that kind of stuff. So you have that level of people still going on there, but I would hope that the Democratic Party, the politicians, the people that make choices, the people that are going to run for office, the hierarchy of the Democratic Party, the Illuminati of the Democratic Party, the people that sit around in rooms and make choices like, what are we going to do? Who should run? I hope they look at this and really take stock of what happened here and really sit back instead of pointing the finger at what they think everything that is wrong with Donald Trump and the Republicans. And I think they need to turn it, because if you think about it like this, if it's so bad, according to you, how do you lose to that? What are you not doing to show people that you are different, better, change of pace, better for the American people, better way of life your way? So that messaging was not good, because not only did he win, not only did he beat the shit out of her, okay, he won the popular vote, right? Because that's the thing that even when he won last time, people were like, whoa, But, the popular vote. So, all that talk that people always say, like, we need to get rid of the Electoral College. We need to get rid of it because the popular vote is the thing you should do. Well, I mean, okay, you want that this time? So what do you feel about the Electoral College now? So I don't know. So now, and then there's a lot of I see voter turnout was bad. One, voter turnout is always bad. Two, voter turnout was higher, say, in 2020 in the middle of COVID when we had nothing to do. There was nothing to do. So it was let's get out of the house and go drop this ballot off at the wherever you're dropping it off at, or go to wherever you went to vote. I mean, that's how we did it last time. They let a lot of stuff slide last time. And I think you had a larger turnout, but it wasn't that much larger, but it was large. I don't know if that would have swung the election or not, but there was plenty of time to convince people to come out and vote. And that didn't happen. But the thing is, I just want to reiterate more on this. I just think that the Democrats need to look within themselves, the Democratic Party, I mean, not the Democrats individually. That party, okay, the left party needs to look within itself and ask, well, who are we? Who do we represent? What's our messaging? Who are we trying to reach? Because the world is different. In my opinion, Harris lost for a lot of reasons. One, Joe Biden stayed in the election far too long. After that debate and that performance, it was done. It was a wrap, okay? It was a wrap, in my opinion. And then he decided, no, he had that one interview where he was like, no, I'm fine. Look at me, I'm fine. They're like, why don't you take a cognitive test? He was like, my cognitive test is going to work every day. It was just kind of like, whether he is all there or not, it doesn't matter. The perception was that he was not, that he was weak. And it was like, okay, so they got rid of him. And I think the next mistake they made was just anointing Kamala Harris. I think they should have had a small sort of caucus with 4 or 5 of the best candidates, her being one of them, and then deciding. And then everybody getting behind that person as if the party made a choice. This is who we want. Let's move forward. But of course, I think they got caught in that same thing that I think turned off a lot of people. How are you going to turn away the woman of color for a white guy? Let's say if the white guy would have been a choice. I think that they got caught in that. It was like, oh, well, we have to pick her. What are we supposed to do? And maybe she was the best candidate. Maybe someone else would have just got even more molly-whopped, right? But I think, and by the way, you only get so you run for president, you only have 100 days. So you just have 100 days to do a complete presidential campaign. So that was tough spot to be in. Second thing is, I don't think that she let us know that she was different from Joe Biden. Okay. So there's a lot of people that did not like Joe Biden. And I'm talking about people that like the independents, people in the middle, and people on the left that left the Democratic vote because they were like, I don't like gas prices. I don't like inflation. I don't like the border problem. I don't like this diversity is all the time, for the sake of it, with no regard, and men are bad. I think that she didn't show herself being different from that. And she had plenty of opportunity to be like, listen, we messed up on the border, but this is what I'm going to do to change it. Hey, the inflation, I know you're hurting. This is what I'm going to do. I mean, she ran completely on what Biden ran on of oh, Trump's bad and I'm better than Trump. But then people are like, but here's the thing that's unique about it is he was already president. So you have to, people are in a unique position to be like, is my life better or worse? And it's a selfish individual choice, not thinking of the greater good or even your whole neighborhood. You're just thinking about your household. Are you better off now than you were when Trump was in office? All the other issues that you want to talk about that come into play are those kind of things that, people will talk about on the news programs and on the internet. But when we're talking we are in our house, when we're in our own house and we decide who we want to vote for, we're thinking about ourselves, our children, where our children are going to school, medical care, what the prices are at the grocery store. All those kinds of things come into play. And I think that a lot of people felt, I think I was better off with Trump in office. I think people felt that, regardless of if you like the man or not, regardless if you think he's whatever you think of him, the things that he says and the things that he does, which half of it I think he does and says just to get attention and to get votes, because look, man, let's be honest about what the world is now. The world is negative. Everybody's negative. The negative comments get the most looks. Negative videos get the most plays. And so, he had his playbook, and something happened towards the end when Kamala Harris came into the election. Okay, what they did to Trump's side is they made Trump's people go, all right, we need to figure this out. And they rallied. They not only convinced him to stop being just all out crazy with his words, they also said, hey, let's reach people we've never reached before and do it in a way. You're already a different type of president. He's the closest to an independent we've ever had, right? They said, well, we're gonna put you on podcasts. You're gonna do things like that, and you're gonna reach an audience that's bigger than the normal political audience. He did all that, and then here we are. So you had that going against the Harris campaign, but I just don't think her message was strong enough. And people are different, man. I don't think that everyone looks at every single issue as to why they vote for somebody. I think they look at issues that affect them, and every issue affects people differently. And I'll give you an example. In terms of the economy, by all measures, the economy is doing great, but there are elements of the economy that are not, like the inflation and then the prices, gas and groceries and things like that. But there are reasons for that have nothing to do necessarily with who's in office, so much as that has to do with just how the government runs and regulations and how people price gouge and greed and corporate greed. So you have that to do with it, right? Okay. Anyway, my point is this: for people that are making a good living, above average living, okay, you living great, you're doing good. All right, I'm doing good. Okay, I'm just speaking for me personally about this particular issue. So if you making over $250,000, inflation is not hitting you the way it's hitting somebody making $50,000 or $35,000 with 3 kids. That's going to hit you different. So that issue is going to be bigger for you. That issue is not going to be big for me. So I look at a different issue, and that's going to be the thing that's going to spark my interest. And what I'm saying is we all have one or two things like that. And then people if you're being honest about it, you just ignore the other things, You know what I mean? So in the same way that people are supporting Kamala Harris, that we're supporting her, that they're just ignoring the border. They don't care. They're just yeah, the border was terrible this year and they let in too many people and they didn't take care of it when they should. They just go, but I still like all these other things and I hate these other things about the other person. That's just how people feel about these things about Trump, man. All of the indictments and the criminal cases that, look as if it looks as if they're trying to attack their political opponent, you know? Like, why is this stuff coming up when it's coming up? What's the merits of it? Is he going to get convicted? Was he going to get convicted? They had 4 years to like have a solid case against him about January 6th, about the votes in Georgia that he asked for. Was there a case? Because it doesn't seem like the guy in charge of that felt that there was. Appointed by Biden. Okay, so I don't know the legitimacy of any of that, but what I'm saying is that probably wasn't enough to make people be like, but I'm not going to vote for him just because of that. I mean, that's why I'm saying I think that the Democrats got to really look at themselves. Just look at themselves and be like, what are we going to do to get our messaging out, to reach people, to move people, these are the things we want to do. These are the changes we want to make. It can't just be, I'm not Trump. And I'm telling you, the internet's going to be flooded with like just so much virtue signaling, man. It's just going to be all over, you know. Oh, I can't believe, you know, I've looked at some of the comments, you know, and I'll see somebody being like, do men even care about women's rights? You know, you see those kinds of things and you're just like, okay, I don't know if that was the top of the priority list for, some guy with a family of 5 making $62,000 with 2 jobs, trying to make sure his kids can go to school and he can't even afford, to keep his car full. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start to break it down about how things affect people, it's like the internet is a terrible place because then people have these like, umbrella statements that we're all supposed to fall under. It's like, well, if you care about women, you would have voted for her. You know what I mean? And if you don't, that means you're a misogynist and a racist and you're like, all this stuff. And I think that kind of vibe is why y'all lost the popular vote as well. Like something that like all the staunch Democrats that are like writing in the comments right now, and they're just like, you know how they are too. They're like, they're even more negative than like the worst of the right, the worst right-wing racist person. There's a lefty person right now writing a condescending, I'm better than you. You don't know what you're talking about type of post. That sentiment right there, that feeling that is put out, that's why you lost. Because I think that there are just regular people in their homes looking at their families and looking at their pocketbook being like, yo, I don't care about what you're saying right now. Like you keep telling men that they're toxic. And then there's men that are gravitating towards the guy who is like, oh, okay. Well, look at this toxic guy just became the leader of the free world, so is he, you know what I mean? Like, I just think that you have to admit that this sort of like woke mentality, holier than thou, pushed people away, as opposed to just, what can you do to make the world better? We're going to do this. We're going to do A. We're going to do B. We're going to do C. It's just a lot of like, you hate gays, you hate women, you hate black. And then like, the Democratic Party is different. Like there used to be a thing where you would say, like they always had this thing that if you're black, you have to vote for the Democrats, as if the Democrats are doing so much for black people, and then you have to split it up because then it's not even like it works like that really. Because then you have these like the biggest voting turnout for Kamala Harris was black women, But if you look on this website on the AP, and they show the voting breakdown, they show the voting breakdown by age and demographics, so you can just go by age. So if you go by age right here, just age alone. So 18 to 29-year-olds, they're saying 16%. No, I'm sorry. 52% of voters ages 18 to 29 supported Kamala Harris. And then 46% of voters 18 to 29 supported Donald Trump. So what does that mean? Okay. When I'm looking at that, and I have to ask, like, what does that mean? Well, to me, it means that both sides' message is getting to young people and they're divided, which should be fine. I mean, that actually should be okay. So this young demographic of people are now saying, okay, so half of us like what the Democrats are saying, and the other half like, okay, so boom, that makes perfect sense. And then you go to, and that was only 16% of the voters were 18 to 29. Wow, isn't that something? And then you go to the 30 to 44 category, that counted for 25% of the voters. And of those voters, 51% voted for her. And of course, that means 47% voted for Trump and the others voted for the other, I mean, that's still very interesting. So like from 18 to 44, it was definitely split. If you just go by age, and then as it gets older, it's a way more breakdown. Like these are the people that actually vote. 32% of voters were 45 to 64. And it's like, this is more in Trump's favor. 46 her, 52 him. And then of course, 65 and up is also, it's 27%. So you're talking about over 50% of the vote was 45 and up, and then it's like 51% of the voters voted for him, 48% voted for her in that age demographic. But then when you go to like gender and age, this is the reason why I was talking about this. It's like, so, you go to just gender and age. So I saw this post of, this black women voted for 95% voted for Donald Trump. And they're like, once again, we have to carry the load for the men and all this kind of stuff. But my thing, like with women, is like, yo, start in-house. Okay. So if you look at this, women 18 to 44 only made up 21, that's a lot actually, 21% of the voters. All right. 55% of those women 18 to 44 voted for her. 55%. That means 43% of those voters voted for Trump. Hey, start in-house. Like, you coming to men, start there. Start with 43% of women thought Trump was better. And then, of course, women 45 and up, too. Look at this. Women 45 and up made up 32% of the voters. 51% voted for her and 47% voted for him. So, I mean, that should tell you that, there's reasons why people are voting the way they're voting. And I think that there should be more than just... I think there should be more than just this sort of identity politics and, telling people about, their religion and their social issues, or whatever, characterizing people's character. I think it's unfair characterization of the people that vote for Trump. You know what I mean? Thank you for the super chats, guys. I appreciate it. I think that that's an unfair characterization. So there are going to be people that are doing that right now. They're going to be virtue signaling and they're going to be just going in about like, well, this is terrible, our country. And it's like, didn't he? Like, I know that he didn't concede the election verbally, but he wasn't storming the White House, right? He still went through the election process again. Like he didn't, you know what I mean? Like, He didn't never conceded the election, right? Okay. But with his words, but with his actions, he did because he moved out. You know what I mean? He moved out and then he started doing his campaigning and then he came back and now he's back. So I just think instead of attacking people who made personal choices based off their own individual circumstances, I think the Democratic Party needs to like rally, regroup, and then figure out how they're going to get their message out there. Because her campaign did not do a very good job. And the results are showing that. Yeah. You know, I don't know what else to say, you know? This guy, he stormed is a ridiculous way to put it. Go fuck yourself. you get what if you don't get what I'm saying, you part of the problem. You know what I mean? My point is simple. All right. The dude, with his actions, he conceded the election is my point I'm making. And he went through the process to get it right. He did it right in a sense of like, you know, hey, and it wasn't like for 4 years he was calling himself like, I'm still the president. This is nonsense. He was like, okay. And even if he was saying that, it didn't matter because he was going through the proper process. He picked a vice president. He went to the Republican caucus, whatever they did. He was like, I'm the nominee. They had their debates. He debated the other person. He debated twice, 2 different candidates. He went on the campaign trail. He had rallies, and then there was an election and he won. And now he's back. And there's the one side is going bananas, and I think they're not recognizing that. Like, you know, what did Elon Musk call it? The woke mind virus. That's a real thing. And I think that there are people that is an issue for some people, you know, just be real about it. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, looking at Disney movies and seeing all the like weird diversity and like, taking the choice out of, the parents' hands to talk about sexuality with their kids, that being forced upon people, that's an issue for some people. That's an issue more than anything else for some people. You know, transgender women in sports, that alone could be an issue for people. If they have daughters who play sports and they feel like, you know, whatever they feel, whether it's right or wrong, those type of issues are issues that are important to people. And I think that contributed to why the left lost. You know, it's like when you lose the issue of grocery prices, like that to me used to be like the thing that Democrats would talk about. Like, you know, we got to make sure everybody can afford groceries. All those poor white people in the middle of the country were like, yo, hey, we're not doing well. Whoa. Can we talk about us? And this guy, he's like, hey, I'm going to help you. Hey, coal workers, and, you know, even whether he made whatever the false promises or whatever, just what people do on campaigns, I think that the messaging was better. It just was, you know, and what are we going to be left with? What are we going to be left with? We're going to be left with, like, you know, a bunch of people on the internet calling the other side fascist and all this kind of stuff. This is what I think is going to happen. He's going to have 4 years. He's going to do his thing and he's going to go away. He's going to anoint whoever. It'll be JD. JD's the next guy. He's going to campaign for that guy. And the Democrats need to get ready for that. Who's the candidate going to be? This might be the best thing that ever happened to them. Clean house, man. Just clean house. You know, Biden is connected to Clinton. So that's, and then she's connected to him. Get rid of all that. No more Obamas, no more Clintons. Just who's a new voice that can reach young people, that can reach today's society, that can reach people who in their particular issues. The internet isn't going to be what it's going to be. You know, it's still going to be a lot of like people saying nonsense, but they're all full of shit. Let me tell you something right now. I don't care how woke you are. I don't care how lefty you are. I don't care how lefty you think all your friends are. Oh, I don't know anyone that I know would vote for Trump. Ha! Ha 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 ha! I'm laughing at your face. look to your right and look to your left. I don't care how woke it is around you. Half the people around you voted for Trump, and they just don't want to tell you because you have a closed mind. That's how people think about it. The first time around, I thought the same thing because so like 70 something million people voted for Trump. I was like, whoa, I think I know a lot of Trump voters. You know, you do too. That shit happened again. But this time more people were like, you know what? I'm not afraid to be like, I think that there's enough good on this side and I'm going to speak out about it. Athletes and influencers and people like that were like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump and I'm going to be proud of it. I mean, it's like, and then the other side just making you feel bad, but that's what they try to do to people. They're, the other side is like, oh my God, you're so racist if you do that. And they're just like, well, I don't know if that's a fair characterization of what's going on. So we'll see what happens. Let's just have a smooth transition of power, which is something he didn't do. Let's just have a smooth transition. Hey, you know what? I think something that will help that is Biden should just pardon him. I think that's what Biden should do. Biden should just be like, hey, listen, man, clean slate, all that nonsense. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that. He gonna pardon himself anyway, right? So, and be like, all right, let's start fresh. Let's bring the country together. I mean, it's crazy that I think that that the Republicans are going to be the one leading towards bringing the country together. Like, that's the thing. Like, what? That's not how it's supposed to be. Like, this Democratic Party is not what it used to be. So that's why I feel like this might be a good thing to like regroup, find yourself. Let's find a good candidate. Let's start hyping that person up. Let's get that person out into the public eye now. That's out there speaking at their, you know what I mean? Like Buttigieg, you know what I mean? Like that guy. But they're not ready for that. They weren't ready for a black woman to be president, and they're not ready for a gay white dude to be president, even though that guy, he can speak, boy. But they need to find that person, okay? You know what I mean? They can't, you know what I mean? Just they need to find someone and then speak on the issues that matter to people. It can't be vote for me, I'm not them. Because people are sick of that. And all of us were sitting around like, well, I know there's a lot of Democrats who are like, oh man, I don't know what she stands for. I just don't think it's enough for people to be like, well, as long as it's not that person, I'll vote for whoever, because that still affects your pocketbook. It still affects your health care. It still affects the school districts and you know what I'm saying? The stuff that's important to people every single day. So we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what's we'll see what unfolds in the next few years. The next, like, I would say like in the next 6 years will be like the real tell of like where we're at. Look, there's some people that feel like this is the end of democracy, and he's gonna like. I honestly don't believe that. But I hope I'm right. It just doesn't feel like that. I just think it feels like, that was just a lot of rhetoric that the one side was saying to try to convince you to vote for them. And I don't think that was the right way to go. I think the way to go would be like, hey, vote for us because we're going to do this. We're going to lower inflation. We're going to fix taxes. We're going to make sure you still have health care. We're going to lower grocery prices. I don't think that messaging was enough. I think it just was all about he's bad, he's bad, he's bad. And you were like, and then a lot of people were like, well, yeah, but we already lived through him and we're fine. Even like after him, the economy was great. We have to remember that like during the time that he was president, that's when we had the lockdowns. Like we had the lockdowns under him. I mean, I think that led to also why Biden was elected, right? I mean, it hurt a lot of people, And I look now, we're getting like the facts, so I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's interesting, and you're moving forward, you're wondering what's going to happen. Like, what's Elon going to do for the government? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, he's so excited. Is he going to be a cabinet member? Like, what's going to happen with him? Is he going to be the head of the science department or something? Like, what's going on with that? And you hear a lot of messaging on the Republican side, like the EV mandates, we're getting rid of them. Like, what does the richest guy in the world think about that, who became that because of EV? So I don't know. What's that going to be about? Is he going to take over NASA? Is he going to be like, hey, let's put NASA with, I don't know if NASA is really a government. I think they're government funded, but I don't know if I don't even know. But what's he going to do? All right. And then JFK, man. RFK. Woohoo! That's the one right there, man. That's the one everybody's like, they vilify that guy, He's anti-vaccine, he's anti this, and then you hear him talk, like, just hear him talk, like, listen to him. Don't let CNN and places like that tell you what he's saying. Go find what he's saying. The guy just wants, like, when he talks about that vaccines, you can't sue a vaccine company. You can't sue them. So no matter what happens, he's saying, how about we get rid of that and make vaccine companies accountable for whatever might happen? I bet you if they took that away, how many vaccines would be taken off the shelf? Don't you want to know that? Isn't it better to find out the facts and follow the science rather than like try to characterize a guy as being a kook? What if he's right? What if he's right? So I'm interested to see what role is he going to have in the government, if any. Who else? Dana White. Like, wasn't it strange that Dana White was there? Yeah, Dana White, like, what they're just close friends. So you bring your BFF everywhere. Yeah, before I address the nation, let my homie talk. Dana, come over here and talk, homie. I thought that was so weird. You know what I mean? So somebody just asked, what if he's wrong? If he's wrong, then nothing changes. Like, this is dumb. So it'd be like if I say to you, what if there's poison in this soup? And I'm saying, let's check the soup to make sure there's no poison. And then you say, well, what if there isn't any poison in the soup? And I go, then eat your soup. Everything's cool. Which side would you rather be on? I don't think there's anything wrong with making sure. Wait, guys. Let's get back to RFK because this guy just pissed me off for a second. I don't put anything past greed and corporate interests. Let's remember the OxyContin situation. Medical professionals were poisoning people. Medical professionals, experts, signed off on OxyContin. Do you know how many lives were destroyed because of that? And what if there was somebody's just saying, hey, it seems as if people are getting addicted to this. And you're going to go, well, what if they were wrong? I don't put it past anyone, man. When you see other countries the stuff that we have in our foods, other countries have banned, are saying are illegal. The stuff we put in Skittles and cereal and certain things. There's a list of things that we allow in our foods that other countries have proven are toxic. But because corporations run everything here, we allow it to stay. Someone like RFK is trying to be one being like, hey, let's follow the science. That's all the guy's asking for. He's like, can I see the science? Can we make sure that this stuff is okay? Can we actually test it? And let's remove this no litigation thing. Let's make it so if it's proven that this vaccine is causing something, let this company be sued. It holds them accountable. It makes them like, whoa. That means they would be like, whoa, let's not put this out. What do you think is more plausible? That a company is within their company like, hey, we're trying to find a vaccine for such and such. You think everybody's noble? You think they're going to be like, hey, let's put this out? And they're like, well, we're not sure. We haven't tested it fully, or, it would really take like 7 years before we can really put this out to be sure. And they're like, but we're going to lose out on a lot of money. Can we do it in 3 years? And they're like, I mean, maybe, but, and then they put it down 3 years. But what do they have to worry about? Because there's no accountability. It doesn't matter. They can't be sued. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with the guy being like, show me the science. Let's test it. Let's make sure. What's wrong with that? I don't understand. I don't understand. Anyways, so look, I don't even care where you are on the political spectrum these days, because I don't think that I think it's like a big spectrum where people are. If you voted for Trump, I totally understand, because there are issues that are important to you that are more important than, say, his legal issues or his personality. That you think these issues that are important to you are more important than that. I get why you did what you did. If you're a person that is like, you're a staunch you're a lefty, and you you believe in people, and you want, to make sure everybody's being helped, and you're just so and your whole stance is that anything's better than Trump, I think that you should rethink that and start making sure that your government officials have the proper messaging out of what they're going to do. Not what they're not going to be, but what they're going to do. I think that's the most important things, And this guy said, do you think all the right-wing issues will be solved by this election? No, I don't think any of the issues were going to be solved by any election at all. I mean, if you think about, go back, look at this presidency, okay? First of all, there's a lot of things that were happening in the economy that were great under Biden, but, they'll never admit that. But then the things that the border issue is just, that's real. They made a mistake on that. They made a mistake. I don't know what was going on with that, but there's a mistake that went on there that they didn't own, but the border is always an issue. Okay. So go back. Did the last people solve that issue? No. But did they solve other issues? Yeah. The infrastructure bill, there's some things that Biden did that, like, I'm sure Trump's going to keep going in the same way that Biden kept some things that Trump started during his presidency. It's nuanced, guys. It's nuanced. But look, I think that democracy and the United States is bigger than any one presidency. I do. I think we will survive. I think we will thrive. We have dark times. We have good times. We have bad times. But through it all, I think we improve and we get better. Even when we take steps back, we take more steps forward in other areas. But that's just the nuance of being a nation of over 400 million people. So hopefully, you know what I mean? Hopefully we just look it up yourself, man. Just Google the shit. You know what I mean? just Google this shit. By all measures, there are many things about the economy that have been thriving. Yeah, but see, you talk to people actually with money, and then they'll be like, okay, this is what I'm saying. It's different for every economic area in the country has a different perspective based off their own selfish and lack thereof knowledge. That's just what that is. Every person has a different perspective, and that's why they vote the way they vote. It's not these big monolithic concepts why people vote. People aren't, Like people, no one was going to vote for Kamala Harris based off the wokeness. You know, that's not enough to vote for somebody, you know? And no one was going to vote for Trump based off whatever their nonsense is on the other side. Every side got nonsense, you know? But we vote for our own individual things that affect our lives. Okay? All right, guys. I didn't know I was going to do this long, but it is what it is, you know? Again, we're going to keep an eye out. We're going to keep an eye out, and we're going to see what's going on in the next few months. Like, this is like, you know, the first 100 days of a presidency. But this is unprecedented in regular times, man. And I'm talking about in modern times. This is the, you know, that we had a president. He was president. He lost. He regrouped and came back. He's already been in the office. So, you know, what's he going to do? We're going to see. We will see. But thanks for watching Riffin with Griffin. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, guys. You got to hit the subscribe button, then you know who's going to be here and when what I got going on. You know, when I go live and when I upload stuff. Hit me on the Twitch. Hit me on the Twitch. And then Patreon Monday Nuance. Twitch subscribers get it for free, or you can just be a Patreon member too. And you will get here, all right? And we will see what we can get done. So, for all you audio listeners, thanks for listening. You know, every week I'm cleaning out this other room over here. I'm making a real Riffin with Griffin studio. So look for some big changes in Riffin with Griffin. And remember, episode 300 is coming up with the Lee brothers. Just full disclosure, I had an audio issue, so the audio might be a little trash, but I hadn't had a guest in a while. But, you know, we'll see what it comes on. But thanks for listening. All right, guys, you guys on the video side, that's it for you. Thanks for watching Riffin with Griffin. And yeah, man. Let's do it next week. And God bless America. All right. I'll see you guys later.